What if I told you that one of the world's oldest health systems was never created to treat disease? What if its real purpose was to understand how health begins long before symptoms appear? This is Ayurveda, and this is not what you think. My name is Rajiv. I am a trained Ayurvedic physician. On this channel, I don't promote myths, and I don't reject modern medicine. I simply explain how ancient physicians understood the human body, mind, and life in a way that still makes sense today.
So let's get right into it. I want to start with a statement that, well, it might just challenge everything you think you know about one of the world's oldest healing systems. And it's this: Ayurveda is not alternative medicine.
And here's the real kicker. In fact, it was never even meant to treat disease in the first place. I know. That sounds completely backwards, right? So let's unpack what that actually means.
You see, the whole difference really boils down to the very first question that gets asked. This is where we see that foundational split, that fork in the road between Ayurveda and the modern medicine we're all so familiar with.
All right, so here's the crucial point. Modern medicine, when you show up with a problem, it's asking, okay, what disease does this person have? Right? It's all about finding a label, a diagnosis. But Ayurveda, it comes at it from a totally different angle. It asks, why did this imbalance even begin in this person's body? Do you see that shift? It's not about the what, it's all about the why.
And because the question is so different, it leads to a completely new way of looking at the body. It's not like you're a car mechanic just looking for broken parts to fix.
Yeah, those ancient physicians, they saw the body as something much more profound than just a machine. Think of it more like a living, intelligent ecosystem, a system that's constantly and kind of brilliantly adapting to every single thing. What you eat, how you sleep, your feelings, where you live. The big takeaway here is that nothing happens in a vacuum. It's all connected.
Okay, so that all sounds pretty conceptual, right? But how does this actually work in the real world? Let's use a really simple, practical example to see this way of thinking in action.
So picture this. You've got two people, right? They sit down and eat the exact same meal. One of them feels amazing afterwards, totally energized. The other one, they get sick. So why? What's going on there?
Well, the Ayurvedic approach, it doesn't immediately blame the food. It's not about labeling food as good or bad.
No. Instead, it looks inward. It studies digestion. The focus completely shifts from the thing you ate to your body's process. The real question is, how did one person's system handle that food compared to the others? That's where you find the root of the imbalance.
Okay, and this is where it gets really, really cool, at least for me. We have this ancient wisdom, right? Built on thousands of years of just watching how things work. And now we're seeing it perfectly reflected in the language of modern science.
Think about it. What Ayurveda simply called digestion, well, today we talk about that in terms of metabolism, gut health, the microbiome, the ancient idea of rhythms of life. That's what we now call our circadian rhythm, that incredible internal clock running the whole show. And when they talked about energy levels, they were really observing what we now understand through stress hormones like cortisol and the entire nervous system. It's just amazing, right? It shows how these ancient observers figured out these fundamental truths that we're only now confirming with all our fancy modern tools.
So this brings up a really important question. If it's not alternative medicine, then what is it? How does it relate to the conventional medicine we all rely on? Let's get really clear about this.
First things first, Ayurveda is not anti-modern medicine. Period. There's no conflict here. And it absolutely does not compete with it. This is not an either-or situation. Let's be real, modern medicine is a lifesaver. It's absolutely essential for things like acute diseases, major injuries, and emergencies. What Ayurveda does is explain the foundations of health that lie underneath all that. You could almost think of it like the owner's manual for your own body. It's about maintaining balance day to day so that disease has a much harder time taking hold to begin with. And so, that leaves us with one final and I think really crucial shift in how we see things. Once you get this, you stop only asking how to treat disease once it shows up. You start asking a much more powerful question, a much more proactive question. How do we create health? Actively, day by day, choice by choice.
If this video challenged how you think about health, subscribe. If not, your curiosity may need a little digestion.